Hello, my name is Laura Gould, and I'm here to discuss an incident which occurred recently and needs to be discussed regarding safety procedures. During lunch break at an educational facility, there was an announcement over the intercom system calling for the safety team to report to the incident command center at once. Our safety team was then informed that there was a chemical spill in the hallway of a work area caused by a custodian who was transporting cleaning products. As a result of this spill, hazardous gases were released into the public hallway area. In this scenario, our safety team should promptly instruct whoever is in charge of making announcements to instruct everyone in the building to evacuate in a calm, organized fashion, and to gather at one of our designated assembly points. The team lead should then instruct staff in every area of the building to help guide students to the nearest exit. If there are any areas of the building that are occupied by people which would require them to come within a certain vicinity or proximity of the spill, they should be instructed to stay in place until a safety team member comes to them with the proper PPE or personal protective equipment to evacuate safely. While this is all being announced, one person from the safety team should quickly retrieve all PPE available, and another should be calling 911. All members of the safety team, as well as anyone else responding to and in the vicinity of this chemical spill, should put on any PPE that should be used in the case of a chemical spill, such as goggles, a mask with proper filtration, and gloves. Another safety team member should consult with the custodian that was transporting these chemicals to find out what chemicals they were transporting, so that this information can be reported to the 911 call center. That way they're properly protected and prepared to address the situation when they arrive. Another safety team member wearing proper PPE should make sure that any and all rooms in the vicinity of the spill are evacuated, and they should bring a handful of extra PPE to give any people that are still waiting to evacuate because they are in areas that would require them to come within a certain range of the spill. One safety team member should go to each designated assembly point and ask if anybody is experiencing any out-of-the-ordinary symptoms. If there is anyone experiencing any out-of-the-ordinary symptoms, they should be instructed to take a seat in a certain area. This safety team member should immediately contact a lead telling them of the affected people. A safety team member or member of staff should grab the MSDS, and everyone should evacuate the premises and head out as soon as possible. While waiting for emergency responders and spill response team to arrive, the MSDS should be consulted in case more immediate action needs to be taken regarding contact with fumes from any of the chemicals that may have been spilled. Following the 911 call, our incident command heard from a shift lead that reported 4 of her team members were feeling dizzy and nauseous. A follow-up phone call with this lead revealed that 1 of the 4 affected people were experiencing advanced symptoms of mental confusion and loss of consciousness, and she confirmed that these 4 were all in proximity of the chemical spill. The chemicals that may have been spilled should be read about in the MSDS immediately, and any chemicals that have side effects similar to the symptoms that are being experienced by those who are in the vicinity of the spill should be examined thoroughly to see what action should be taken following inhalation of the gases. If there is anything that can be done to alleviate these symptoms of those who inhaled fumes, those actions should be taken immediately. Any students or staff among the other assembly points that are experiencing symptoms should be gathered together for prompt assistance once the emergency responders arrive. To follow up on this incident in the future, there are a few systems and procedures that I believe should be set in place and strictly followed. If they aren't in place already, There should be clearly marked floor diagrams with arrows that point to all the designated exit routes located in every larger gathering room and hallway around the building. The diagram should include locations of exits, assembly points, and equipment such as first aid and spill kits that may be needed in case of an emergency. In this case, there was a safety team that was notified immediately after the incident, but there should be a clear chain of command in place within this team so that the incident can be managed as quickly and safely as possible. There should be a coordinator that is responsible for assessing the situation, activating and overseeing emergency procedures, and notifying and coordinating with outside emergency services. Regarding this incident in particular, every hazardous chemical on site should be in a well-sealed container that should be double-checked before being transported or put away. There should be a very clearly marked warning labels on the containers of any chemicals that can pose a hazardous risk to people, and a sealed container with PPE necessary to wear in case of spilling this chemical should be transported along with them at all times. The designated safety team on site should have a meeting once a month to discuss any and all potential hazards on site, step-by-step plans in response to each potential emergency, make sure the list of emergency contacts is up to date, and assure that everyone knows who they should contact. Make sure PPE is stocked everywhere it is needed, and relay this information to staff that should be aware of the information, especially those that will be coming into direct contact with any hazardous materials. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this presentation.